And where that speed come from? God gave it to you, you had to work for it.
I worked hard for it.
Straight up, bro. Straight up.
Straight up.
What it mean to be a Texas boy with the Dallas Cowboys?
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't grow up a Dallas Cowboy fan, but it's a blessing.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I'm gonna let you work, big dog.
No, for sure.
All right, so obviously, you know, we've been going through a couple of players for the Cowboys and their process of preparing for training camp. So we showed kind of the overall view of what it's like in the first video. Then we showed Story Jackson and broke him down. Now we go look at Dennis Houston. Now, because it's a lot of people who think that these type videos are useless because they think you can't observe a lot about these players, but you can observe a lot as you just watch them work, because everybody gives clues of who you really are if you really observe it. And it's a lot that I really like as I was watching Dennis Houston. So one of the things about Dennis Houston that I like is you could even see from the intro, he's honest. Like, he didn't kiss up when I asked him how does it feel to be, you know, with the Dallas Cowboys. He said, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro, I didn't grow up a fan of the Cowboys, but it's a blessing. And so those type of people I like, because they, you know, they not gonna tell you what you want to hear. And some people want people around like that, to where they only tell them what they want to hear. But he's a guy, from me observing him and watching his practice habits, that's a stand-up guy. That's what he comes across to me. He's also a leader, and we go talk about why I said that, because as I observed him, you know, he comes across like he's quiet, but he's really not if you watch him close, because Story Jackson was out there getting some extra work because of him and his invite. He invited Story out to get that extra work in, you know, which is saying a lot about him, because he's not just trying to be better himself. He's also trying to get the guys around him better. And that's a team guy. Like, I get future coach vibes from him. If he loves football and stays in football, that's the vibe I get, because he's the type of guy that's a team guy. And you can see it, like, from the way that he conducted himself, the way that you can see him working. And then when you watch him, especially if you just watch him around others, you see he's a natural leader. Even in the huddle, usually the quarterbacks take command, regardless of even if they're in high school, college, or whatever. But he naturally takes command, and everybody naturally listen to him. And it wasn't that he was a big talker. It was just how he conducts himself. He conducts himself as a professional to the point to where you have to respect him. It's even a little thing. So even when the quarterbacks was given instruction, watch the strong eye contact that you see him intentionally do. That's a practice habit, that I'm gonna give you strong eye contact. I'm gonna show you that I'm ready. I'm gonna show you that I'm willing and that I'm able. And that's the type of guy that I see with Dennis Houston. And then when we get down to what he was actually doing, because that's what I know y'all care about, is what did he look like out there? Well, you could definitely see the speed, but you also saw very strong hands. He caught everything. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say it like this. I felt bad preparing this, because everybody know that I've been so focused on linebacker that when I start preparing the breakdown of how he really did at practice, I was like, damn, he had real good practice. He didn't drop nothing, contested or not. And it was hard. He had hard work. First, it was hot. It was super hot out there, and the practices was set up for him to mostly go against double teams all day. And a lot of these drills was designed to get you to break down coverages in small spaces, which is an advantage to the defense. It's a disadvantage to the quarterback. and he wasn't working with the best of quarterbacks, but his effort was still steady. He wasn't blaming, he wasn't crying, he was working hard, even though he didn't have at that time the best quarterbacks to really work with. And when I tell you he didn't drop nothing, he didn't drop not one ball the entire day, the whole day, hard catches or not. The only balls that he didn't catch was the ones that was uncatchable, because there was some balls out there that was just frankly uncatchable. So, as we going into the life, like, this is uncatchable, but anything that was catchable, he was getting it. And I really felt bad. I'm like, damn, I was so focused on the linebackers that I was missing that he was just yap, 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 yap. He was out there eating. And that's what you want to see. A guy that even on double teams and got 2 feet down right there. I mean, that's what you want to see. And he ain't working with the best. He working with some high school quarterbacks. At the time, the college guys didn't show up that day. So he worked with what he was given, but he made it happen on mostly doubles. So I ain't mad at what I saw. And I'm very impressed with the signing of Dennis Houston. I think, because a lot of us, we look at the names, we look at where they come from, and we make judgments based on when they was drafted. We think players are trash because, they wasn't drafted, so they must not be any good. Well, just to let everybody know that the most Hall of Famers are actually undrafted free agents. See, because Will McClay said himself, speaking of Terrence Steele, that you can't even get first and second rounders that had a year like Steele. Because let me just be honest, a lot of scouts are just wrong. And especially when you come out of classes where it's deep. This is a deep receiving draft. Deep. Just like when Terrence Steele came out, it was a deep, extremely deep tackle class when he came out. In a normal class, Steele would have been a second or third round talented guy. But when you got these big drafts and all these receivers are running 4.4s and 4.3s, and even though you ran a 4.41, Dennis Houston, which he burned the clock up. He fast. But still, it's just, how do you stand out when your school is not as known? It's hard. So you got to go the hard route. You got to go the undrafted free agent route. But that does not mean that he is not a player. And I frankly, and I'm just being all the way honest, I really like what I see. And especially the leadership, the guy that's an unselfish guy, So once again, we just, opening you to the life of some of these guys as they're preparing for the dreams. This is a dream to these guys, and I hope the best for them, especially good guys that's not out there like, hey, I'm going to practice by myself and don't tell nobody. He like, hey, I'm finna go work out with this guy, Real Truth Story. You want to come? He trying to make everybody around him better, and he's in a huddle working with everybody. He's leading those guys, and he's a quiet leader. See, those type of leaders don't get respect. But if you know what you're looking at, those are the guys that are actually what make your team as a whole. The unselfish guys, the guys that's go try to get everybody around them better, the guys that's go play the special teams, that's go make that strong eye contact. Even when you are not on my level, I'm still gonna respect you, Mr. High School quarterback, as the quarterback, and I'm gonna make strong eye contact with you. So I like what I see. And if you like this content and you like content like this, y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to Boss Cowboy Sports. Also continue to give to Boss Cowboy Sports, because we're going to continue to try to give you content that might be a little bit different, because obviously, you got to be a lover of football to be into this type of video, because we going into the life of these guys, and because it's not, in a stadium, some people don't care. But if you really love football, you don't care if these guys are practicing in the backyard. You want to see it and you want to be around it because you love it. And I love it. And y'all stay up with Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Peace.